Here's a bag full of ducks, I'ma get my bath on. Never lose a passion, I post till we're done. Said I passed Bron Baker in round one. Ain't it funny? Was passive, outlasted. Then against Heather Smith, no chance as if.
All right, I think we're live. What's up, homies?
What's up?
It's the Accountant Bracket Challenge. Are we live? It looks like LinkedIn's working. It looks like YouTube's working. We're in good health here. It is March Madness, the ABC tournament. Welcome, 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 students. Welcome, faculty. Students, you're in for a treat. We have some of our top faculty at Accounting High. Everybody's been hard at work this past year. We're back. Welcome back from break. We're all here. We're ready to check out this year's ABC tournament. Thank you for joining me. Byron Patrick, our IT department, who runs this tournament. He puts the whole thing on his back. Byron, what's up, homie?
Not much, man. I am friggin' hyped to see some votes coming in.
Yeah, well, voting will be live soon, students. Ready to check this out. We also have Nicole McKenzie with us. Nicole and I have been working on some other stuff outside of this. We have the Cash Flow Show. So if you haven't heard, check that out too. It's a dope show. What's up, Nix?
Hey, Scott. Good to see you. And I will be managing the chat here. So if you guys want to pipe up or say something, I'll be looking out for it.
Say something. All right. So Terrell Turner, our media center, our librarian at Accounting High, he and I are working on a book that you might see in 2035 if I do anything more toward it. Terrell, say what's up to our students. What's up, homie?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm definitely looking forward to this. I mean, this is one of those fun media projects of pulling it all together and really helping get this content out there. So I'm looking forward to this.
Dope. Well, it looks like we are live, and now I'm going to go ahead and start revealing some of our brackets. I appreciate everybody joining us live, and sorry if there are any technical difficulties. We'll figure all of it out. I'm going to stop this here, and then...
Now, I guess I got to ask, before you start revealing the
Sure.
brackets, like, what percentage of last year's participants did you think were going to come back? Like, did you have any like new people who didn't make it last year that you thought like, hey, this year they're going to make it?
So I want to talk about that as we're within each bracket, because I can say the people that it's near to my heart, and there's so many that didn't make the bracket that I wish did. So many people that like I'm big fans of that I've nominated and that still aren't going to make it in. So I don't want to give any of that away yet, but let's just say the student count, right? So last year we had about 200 nominate at this stage. We're at almost 530, right, Byron?
Wow.
Yeah.
So we had a lot more nominations. So that's why the competition is fierce now. We got more accountants nominating and voting. So last year by the end of the tournament, we had 2,000 students participate, voting, and all of that. So I guess we anticipate that to be more this year, right, Byron? Or less. It could be less because we're just linked in, so people can't get their moms voting for them, and like other family members or people that maybe aren't accountants. We got a lot of votes last year when the tournament started. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Remind me who won the tournament last year?
Uncat. So
Uncat won. That's right.
Uncat. Yeah, that's one, Terrell. Uncat didn't even make the tournament this year. They won last year, and they didn't even get any nominations this year. Just kidding.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to give everything away there. All right, so we're going to start off this whole tournament preview with the bonus tax bracket. All right. Bonus bracket, tax bracket. And the reason this is a bonus is because this is Nicole's least favorite topic to talk about, to see on the brackets. And last year, I almost put the tax bracket on the bracket last year. And I got some pushback from the accountants that don't do taxes. So it's a bonus bracket, but it's the best bracket in my eyes. We're a tax firm, and let's get started here. So let me start revealing these. Here we go. First matchup: Tax Plan
Okay.
IQ and Tally 4. So shout out to Jackie Meyer and shout out to Peter Wen, founders of both of these. RC Reports versus Avalera, another two tax. Now, RC Reports, we fit in here. It's a what does they do? The reasonable compensation reports. Yeah, reasonable compensation. It's tax related. It's tax adjacent, and they got enough nominations to make it into the tournament. So congratulations, RC Reports, making it on for the first time. Also, Tax Plan IQ's first entry into the tournament ever. So we also have our sponsor made it in.
Our sponsors.
Stanford Tax. They didn't cheat. They made it in fair and square. Tax Help Software. I had never heard of this. First time in the tournament. It's IRS transcript software, and they got a lot of love, a lot of nominations. Byron, maybe as we're doing this, you could pull up some of the nominations, maybe read one.
Oh yeah.
For first, like, well, you can just pick somebody randomly if you want. And then we got ProConnect and Drake, the only two tax softwares that actually got enough votes to make it in. I would have put all the other tax ones, but like I said, tax doesn't get that much love. It's like, there's all the tax preparers that are watching this now. Everybody's taking a break from tax season. This is the best break from tax season, but yeah, tax is just the bonus bracket. So congratulations to everybody who made it in. Drake, maybe he'll be featured later on. He's, I hope if Drake does well in this bracket, he might consider, giving a guest appearance with us. Maybe we can do a rap, a duet.
I just want to say one thing on this bracket, because
yeah, for sure.
I'm like Nicole. I'm not very big on tax. Like, we don't really do any tax work. My one prediction, because this is one I'm probably familiar with, is I think Tally 4 is going to take this one. And the reason why is because I tell my wife, like, whenever I come home from a conference, I'm like, man, that Peter Wen, his marketing game, his pop-up game at a conference is strong. I'm just like, so I think Peter's going to take this one.
Shout out to Peter Wen. Shout out. I don't know. I think Jackie came in with a lot of momentum this year, Jackie Meyer. So that's a good matchup. The Tax Plan IQ and Tally 4. Tax Plan IQ. That's my pick. I think I think Jackie's gonna be loud about this. She's gonna want to win.
Well, and for what it's worth, I mean, without bias, Stanford Tax got some solid testimonials. I mean, there's one in here. It just goes on about how much they love how it integrates with various tax filing software. They got a bunch of testimonials. So there may be a dark horse hiding in this bracket.
There may be a dark horse hiding in other brackets. I'm not gonna fast forward or allude to anything, but we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, and then that's our little sponsor break too. Everybody check out Stanford Tax if you're a tax preparer. They're lovely. It's a tool that I wish existed years and years ago. Byron actually thought it should have existed already. Really neat organizer tool. So check them out, Stanford Tax. And let's move on. Nicole's already rolling her eyes. Nicole, what do we got going on in the chat?
Not much.
Not much? All right. Well, keeping it live here, keeping it live. We are in the money bracket. This is my favorite just because I love money. So anything that's related to money, you know it. If you saw it last year, Relay was leading the pack in nominations. Relay's our sponsor, second year sponsor of the tournament. They didn't cheat to get this 1 seed, but they got the 1 seed. Relay.
Wait, was that 1 seed based on the number of nominations?
Yes.
The 1 seed?
Yes. So that's where the seeds matter. Tax bracket didn't have the seeds. So you've got Relay and the bubble team Ramp. Now,
Ooh.
Terrell, to answer your question, I'll let us reveal some more. But Ramp, I'll just say Ramp was in tight contention with a few others that could have made it into the money bracket that you'll see. Maybe didn't. So Ramp, I know Nicole likes Ramp. She knows and uses Ramp. Now
Did
we've
you know,
got
Ramp it's their 5-year anniversary. I just got an email from them today. They're only 5 years old.
wow.
Wow.
They're a toddler, or maybe a little
Happy
bit older than a
anniversary.
toddler. Yeah.
Grew up
We
fast.
Yeah, they're growing fast. Ramp, I can't believe they're only 5-year-old app. So yeah, they're the baby in here. Anchor is also a baby app. They're probably only 1 year old right now, 2 years maybe. Another
Wow, nice.
newcomer. They got a 9 seed. They got a lot of nominations. Ignition also former sponsor, not sponsoring this year, but participating, and they got love. I'm not going to say they got as much love as they did last year, but they've got some competition now too. Anchor is a direct competitor to Ignition, so they're head to head. Forwardly, 5 seed. Had not heard of Forwardly yet. They got more nominations than Ignition and Anchor. Anybody heard of Forwardly before?
It's a new one on my list.
New one on the bracket too.
Yeah, I mean, for them to get a 5 seed, I mean, they must have like a growing fan base.
They must. They got some users and they got a lot of nice reviews. So maybe Byron, we can check one of their reviews. Gusto, of course, Steady Eddie with Gusto. They always come in with the heat. They had like 27 solid nominations last year and this year. About the same. It was a lot. Just to be clear, most things got like 4 nominations, if that. Anything with over 10 is a heavy hitter. And Gusto came in with almost 30 both years. So Relay got like over 40.
And that might not sound like a lot, but when there's over 1,200 nominations spread across almost 250
Wow.
different teams, yeah, it's pretty strong.
Percentage.
Oh,
It's a hefty percentage of the vote.
yeah. Scotty, so forwardly, I love this testimonial. Best for instant bank-to-bank payment. It's simple and quick for businesses wanting to get paid faster. The best part, it works in the evenings and on weekends.
Oh, it works without you. Dope. All right. Yeah. So another newcomer, File. I like their colors. I almost made their color. So the other thing you'll notice is the bracket itself is the color of like the dominant player, and Relays kind of was dominating. They're that's why the color green, but green is money too. So File has the pink. I wanted to make this pink, but maybe next year when File gets more votes. So I kind of don't know what File does, but
So let's say if Relay doesn't make it out of round 1, does the color change?
they'll have to make it to the Sweet 16, and then it's a
Okay.
combination. Once you make it out of this bracket, it's then into the Elite Eight, and then I'm combining other brackets. So then the color, yes, will change. If they get knocked out the first round, though, I think we're going to stick with the same colors. We'll see. Next live show,
But
tune
File
in.
is receipt tracking for credit card
Okay.
expenses.
Receipt tracking for credit card. Yeah, credit card. So all of these are money related. My dad was checking this out yesterday. I was kind of preparing it, and he said, "Aren't they all money related? You guys are accountants." And yeah,
I will say
right.
we got a comment on LinkedIn. So in the comment we got on LinkedIn is, surprisingly, Forwardly just launched last June. Like, I mean, they are coming in hot with a 5 seed, and they just launched last year.
wow.
That
Talk
is
about
big.
baby apps this year. This is the baby app tournament. All right, we're
Oh,
on.
I wanna
Yeah, what's
something
up?
about Forwardly. Alicia says Forwardly takes advantage of the new federal program for instant ACHs. Anybody heard of that?
Oh, no, but AC, that sounds like something I want to take a look at too. That sounds dope. Sounds cheaper too than credit cards, right? ACH would probably be less processing fees. That's why I love it. Dope. Utility bracket coming in on a 6 seed. ChatGPT made it into the tournament. Last year, they didn't even make it into the tournament. So I'm happy to see them here. Slack, of course, is a staple.
Okay.
And remember too, like we were saying, like it takes about 4 nominations to possibly make it into the tournament. So a lot of these, here we go. So a lot of these we're getting like nominations because people value them. They value these apps. But then it's how do we pick? So the utility bracket will kind of like explain what this is, since these are almost all unrelated. This is our catch-all. This was our bridge bracket last year. This is the apps that people find near and dear and very useful, and reporting apps are very useful. So we have a couple of reporting apps here. Nicole's a big fan of Reach reporting. I saw her cheering. Reach made it as a 3 seed. Last year, they barely squeaked by making it into the tournament. This year, they got like 12 nominations, 12 or 13. So lots of love for Reach.
Reach, they don't do a lot of marketing either, which it's always impressive how they've just grown from word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. Well, they are. We've seen them at conferences, so check them out when you're at AICPA Engage or some of these other conferences.
And they always have those amazing belts too.
Yes, they do. Terrell, I know you got your belt. I got 2 of them. Yes. So we've got Google Suite and Calendly up on the 710 seed. Calendly, lots of love this year. I love Calendly. It's the best calendar app. I've used a couple Calendly I've been using for years. We also use G Suite at our firm. How about you guys? Anybody else using Google? I know, Nicole, you do for sure.
G Suite's great.
Absolutely, yeah, we do. I mean, this one is a tough one because I love both of these. I don't think our business could work as well without either one of these. So this one will be a good matchup.
For sure. And I know one of your faves, Live Flow, made it as a 2 seed. Live Flow got a ton of nominations this year. Last year, I had to kind of explain to Anita what the tournament even was. I kind of had to do that for everybody last year, but Anita especially. Like, I really don't understand how this works. But they did pretty well last year. This year, they're coming in and going up against another app that I had never heard of that got some love. They're a 15 seed. And I went on their site and it looks very similar. They do something very similar to LiveFlow. Amalgam got a lot of love. Had never heard of them. And I checked them out. I like the color combo too. But yeah, they definitely another new app to check out.
Here's one of the testimonials for Amalgam. It's like Sasan and LiveFlow had a baby.
Woohoo! And Sasan didn't make it this year. So they might have taken Sasan's plate. They didn't get they might be eating off their plate now because they didn't even make it in. They didn't get any nominations this year, I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2. So utility bracket. Any other interesting observations or?
It's gonna be a fun
I don't
one.
want to sound too biased, but I understand why the bracket is blue.
Okay. They got a
I understand
sharp
why the
blue
bracket is
too.
Blue. But the one that I wanted the comment on was ChatGPT and Slack. I think because so many more people have gotten accustomed to what ChatGPT can do, I think Slack is going to have a really tough time trying to make it out of this round.
Fair.
You're right.
Fair. I have a hard time believing anything will beat ChatGPT. I think it's the best app in the world, but I'm a little biased. Actually, I don't even use it as much as I should. I love it, but I don't even use it as much as I should. So I'm going to move around here. So we spent some time on the apps. We're looking at some apps. I'm going to reveal what that looks like on the main bracket. So let me share this tab instead. And boom. That's the bracket on the bracket. And this is our little bonus tax bracket. So as you can see, I'm covering everything else up. We're going to go through the rest of them. I'm not going to keep doing applications. I'm going to move us over to the media region on the education side of the bracket. And I think we should go over that side because that's very interesting. I'm going to actually take us down to the bottom right here. We're going to do the collaboration, though, not media. We're going to do collaboration right now. You guys ready? We have a brand new bracket for the tournament. It's the conference bracket.
Ooh, good one.
It's the conference bracket. So thank you, Randy, for the conference bracket. It's
wow.
Randy Crabtree leading the pack.
A
He's the
onesie.
reason we had to do a conference bracket. Bridging the Gap came in strong. It came in a lot of nominations. So I didn't know where it could fit. And I kept telling Randy, I said, Randy, I don't know what we're going to do. We didn't have a conference bracket last year. Not conferences don't get nominated. You know, you already got your other stuff that might be in the tournament. So what are we doing here? But he's still pushing for nominations, and people are nominating. And we got a conference bracket. Digital CPA actually got nominations as well. So we're like, okay, other conferences are getting nominated. Let's check this out. Lots of love for Digital CPA. 16 seed. They got a couple. They made it in. Scaling New Heights also got a lot of nominations, and Thrival, Deeper Weekend. So here's my asterisk. Thrival got a lot of nominations, and their Deeper Weekend is a conference. So that's how they came into the bracket. That's how they made it into the bracket this year. Scaling New Heights as well. If you guys haven't heard of it, you should check it out. Also, Happy Hour Camp. They're having another camp this year, 2024. They had one in 2022. A lot of Appy campers might be here. Appy Hour got a lot of nominations, so they made it in here in the conference bracket. Check that out. Heather's and Liz, they do awesome with that. So,
No doubt.
yeah, shout outs all around. Accounting Today's conference. Firm Growth Forum in San Diego at Mission Bay Resort in June. Check that out. It's fairly new conference. I think this is the second year they're having it. Shout out to Dan Hood. Shout out to Accounting Today. They made it in. They got nominated as Accounting Today, so I figured I'd pivot and turn that into a conference. And shout out to Dawn Brolin, the Accounting Cornerstone Foundation that she founded at Appy Camp, at that matter. This isn't an actual conference, but again, lots of nominations. So wanted to find a way to get that on the bracket. That came in. It's a nonprofit. Byron, are you familiar with the Accounting Cornerstone Conference?
Only via your education, learning about they're enabling folks who might be a little tight on cash to attend these educational opportunities.
Yeah. I was at Scaling New Heights last year. In case you didn't know, I was performing there. But before the performance, we went out to dinner with the two people that got the scholarships for Scaling New Heights. So it was with Randy and Dawn, and I forgot their names, but the two women who won, they run in firms, running a practice. It was their first conference. They were so excited, met a ton of new people. It was awesome. So that's this foundation. Lots of love for the Accounting Cornerstone Foundation. Check them out. And AICPA Engage. So here's the controversy. Who's missing? Terrell?
I don't see the QuickBooks conference.
Yeah, right?
Hero.
Woo! So here's the controversy. You can only fit 8 teams in the bracket. QuickBooks Connect didn't get nominated.
Not
Really?
A single nomination.
Not a single nomination, but QuickBooks did. But
Okay.
hopefully they make it. Hopefully they make it onto the bracket too. I think we were all surprised last year when QuickBooks was upset by Uncat in the second round or third round, I think it was. So yeah, maybe next year, maybe they'll get some nominations next year. We'll have the conference bracket grow. Nicole, what do you got to say about the conference bracket?
Oh, I was gonna say, I see a pattern here that you have to choose a good place for your conference, and people will come. So we've got Bridging the Gap, that's in Chicago. Which do you guys? I don't know if you guys have any friends that live in Chicago, but we just had St. Patty's Day yesterday, and I don't know how many gallons of green paint they put in the river here, but
It was
they
biodegradable vegetable dye, from what I hear, not paint.
is it? I was like, it looks awesome. I always wanted to go to Chicago for St. Patty's Day, and then we've got AICP Engage in Las Vegas, and Scaling New Heights is where?
Orlando for the next 4 years. Thrival is in South Carolina, Greenville. And Digital CPA has been in Nashville. It's been Austin. It's been Vegas this past year.
DC the first like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome.
And then Appy Hour Camp is in, I believe it's Arizona this year. Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I forget. And the Cornerstone Foundation is just a foundation. But yeah. AICPA Engaged, I think I've been there for the last 3 years running, 4 years running. I've never gotten a ticket for it, but I'm always there. So there we go.
Fun fact, you can use a hotel room key.
It's not a fun fact that I don't want to repeat that I've done that before, but it works if nobody's paying attention.
Allegedly.
Community bracket. Let's move on to community. So this is the collaborative. This isn't the media region. This is the collaborative region. So I'll change that later, but this is not the media region, just to be clear. Community. Bookkeeping side hustle. Kate Josephine Johnson made it onto the bracket again as a 6 seed. And tax Twitter, I made a bold move and I changed the logo on here. I took the liberty of saying, look, we're X now. I don't think X Twitter is going to work. I don't think, or tax X. I don't think we're going to be able to say that either. I think people will still always phonetically call it Twitter. My prediction is we'll never change the word tax Twitter as long as we're talking about it. But if somebody has the capacity to be able to change it, then maybe we will. But it's been nominated as tax Twitter. I think it'll always come in here as tax Twitter.
Now, what happens if tax Twitter wins because it's like its own entity?
It's a decentralized. It almost made it in here as a. I almost put the tax Twitter as the tax Twitter retreat in conferences, but it's too it also made it as a community too. I mean, it could fit as both. Let's just say.
There's a lot of things throughout that could fit in multiple categories. So keeping that in mind, just associate all of them together.
And they all got to roll up into something too.
Yep.
Future Firm, another darling of the tournament, came in as a 3 seed, and the Dark Horse. So I already hinted at Dark Horse because you were mentioning the Dark Horse. So Dark Horse made it in again, 14. Can we please just have a moment of silence for all the black and white logos? I love that. It's just so clean and easy on the eyes. Great logos, design teams here.
But I guess, if the background matches the logo, if Dark Horse, Future Firm, and Tax Twitter have already picked, like, who got number 2?
We'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there. And it doesn't, I kind of like, you'll see who got number 2, but, I also loosely just made it based on design choices. It was easy. Like, these were all black and white. Realize had a black thing behind it. Bookkeeping Buds, lots of love for Bookkeeping Buds. They came in strong this year, 7. Roundtable Labs. I didn't want to put the yellow on here because it just didn't look so. Sorry, Richard. Roundtable Labs came hot this year, though. They almost were leading like other categories too. Like there lots of nominations for in the 20s. That's a lot. Much more than they got last year. So give me a little bit of
context. What is Roundtable Labs like?
Roundtable Labs. It's a community driven by Richard Ropa, and it's like roundtables. So in the name, Roundtable Lab. So it's like a community roundtables. I think there's a free version and a paid version. People could go in and join the community and meet their peers, and it's just a very community driven, mentor, peer-to-peer type stuff. I love it. Love the concept of it. Cool stuff. They were in last year. They did pretty well last year too. And Tanya's Bookkeeping Boot Camp came in as the 15 seed. So this one was a pretty hard bracket to kind of like put together because there's a lot of different communities and a lot of different potential things. And Nicole is wearing an accounting salon shirt near and dear to my and Byron's heart. Accounting salon, sorry, did not make it into the tournament. Terrell, that kind of answers your question. Last year they came in strong, but they were also part of our like testing crew that we sent this out to right in the beginning of the tournament. So it got 10 nominations super early. And they were testing the platform and everything. I don't think we needed as much testing, so maybe they didn't go in there. Maybe they didn't get enough nominations, but sorry, Salon didn't make it. We got anything going on in the chat? Any
Just some
I see
people with some
Logan
thumbs
said
up.
QBC is better than Engage. Yeah. I
And
like
we need to
QBC.
ask Logan. Did Logan vote for? I mean, did he nominate QBC?
Yeah. Well, maybe he didn't know he needed to.
Okay.
Because nobody like we didn't even vote for
He
conferences.
nominated himself 5 times, so there wasn't any room for QVC. I'm just kidding. We didn't allow that.
We won't say we don't allow you to vote for yourself, but he didn't vote for himself, to be clear, and he even said that on Twitter. So for anybody
why I
that
said
knows
that.
what's going on, yeah, he says he never votes for himself. So let's
Logan says, I had no idea.
here's our other part of the bracket revealed for our students here. We got lots of excitement going on in this part of the bracket. Can we all just talk about here? Randy is a 1 seed, but you know how every year there's like that 1 seed that's probably, they maybe won their conference tournament or they got in. Like, he's the 1 seed, but this is potential 116 seed upset this year. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that would seem like a
Testimonials
stretch.
were pretty strong.
I know. No, I'm joking. I'm just picking on Randy. He's going to be so happy that Bridging the Gap is in here. I know he's going to love it because I kept telling him Bridging the Gap's probably not going to make it. So yeah, he's going to love it.
Now, what I will say though, if you go back down to the conferences,
Yeah.
what will be interesting is if Randy, if Bridging the Gap makes it out of round 1, who they face in round 2 is going to be interesting because, like, I'm speaking at the Scaling New Heights, and Scaling New Heights has like their deadlines for when all the presenters need to like submit their slides and stuff like that. Like, if they could slip in there, like, hey, by the way, make sure you go vote as well. Like, round 2 could be pretty tough for Bridging the Gap.
So, okay, you're saying Scaling New Heights. I had it on the wrong bracket. I'm sorry, but yes, I got you there.
Yep.
Well, honestly, everybody's so closely related in here too. Like most of the conference people that are put on the conferences, they all know each other, and everybody like hangs out. Randy's on the committee for the Firm Growth Forum, and the Accounting Cornerstone Foundation was birthed out of Happy Hour Camp. So there's a lot of incest going on there. Maybe. I'm just kidding.
Where are we going? Practice?
I'm not going to go. We're going practice. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Practice bracket. Okay. Another one. Most of your nominations this year, students, went toward the practice bracket. I think if you categorized all the nominations or if totaled them up, practice got most of them, and keeper was in the lead. Keeper. Guys, they're the sleeper. They're not the sleeper this year. Last year, we said keeper might be the sleeper. This year, keeper is leading the pack. They're the color. We lost Terrell, but we'll see him in a minute. I know he's going to make a comment about the color here. Maybe he left. maybe he left because of the color. Lisio and Client Hub head to head. So Client Hub, Byron, can you share with our students what Client Hub does?
I believe that's a document management portal with your clients.
Yeah, let's see if they got some reviews too. They're a newcomer. Zenit, I quickly passed over them too. Zenit is a monthly close app, and I was looking them up too. Zenit got a lot of love, but not nearly as much as Keeper. But when I went on Zenit's site, they have a Zenit versus Keeper comparison page. So, and they just happened to make it in, and they're going up against Keeper in the first round. They're going head to head. So they're already putting it out there that they're a competitor for Keeper.
It is. Hey, you want a Client Hub testimonial here?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I love Client Hub for managing my client communications. I love the portal texting feature. That's cool. File storage automations, and it's pretty, and my clients love it.
It's pretty. Well, they got a
Pretty.
nice clean logo. I like the little circulars there. So another newcomer, Licio. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Licio. Allison Ball's not there this year, but Licio got a lot of love. Still 8 seed, doing very well. Carbon and Tax Dome. So for anybody that participated last year or that remembers, that's the exact same seeding as last year and matchup as the first round matchup last year. Wasn't orchestrated, but they did. They did both make it in. Financial Sense also was a 4 seed last year, and Canopy didn't make it into the tournament last year. They're in this year. Terrell, you chose Canopy. You went through this decision fairly recently and chose Canopy as your practice app. You voted for them. You got them into the tournament.
Yeah, I've been pretty happy with them. I mean, I went through that round of going through every, practice management software, figuring out which one would work for us. Canopy was the one we picked, and I am not surprised to see that they made it into the tournament.
Nicole, you are not using any of these practice management apps at your firm. Is that correct?
Not at the moment. No, we use Teamwork for our project management, and then Hyper Chrome for email management. However, Jen on our team has been closely looking at Keeper, and it keeps popping up everywhere. So
And it's the color of this bracket.
transitioning soon. Yeah,
You know,
the people have spoken.
secretly, I would have loved for Carbon to be in the lead because I use Carbon, and then I could have made the background black, and that's just slick. But hey, that they already got that in the community bracket. Now, Carbon came in strong in the beginning. So, beginning of the tournament, nominations were coming in, and Carbon was just like poured in a wave of Carbon votes. But then it kind of just stayed there the whole time. Like they got a ton of votes and it just stayed there. Keeper just kept coming in like it was steady. They got a lot of votes in the beginning, but they just kept getting more and more and more. And I thought maybe like they were promoting it or whatever. No, it's just a lot of people are using Keeper too.
And it's worth mentioning there was a lot of Carbon Magazine nominations as well.
Yes, we should mention that, but it was all Carbon employees that voted for Carbon. I love Carbon Magazine. I do. I should vote for it as well. And I think that is important to note because Carbon Magazine didn't make it, but they got some of the best content out there. They have the Carbon Magazine, they have a Carbon podcast, and they have their email newsletter, which is great too. The Carbon Practice Practice Excellence Weekly. So they're doing everything they should be with content, and they got great content. But they didn't make it into the content side of the bracket because it's still all Carbon. So, they got close. Practice the Carbon Magazine. If we had a periodicals bracket, they would be making it in there because then we could put Insightful Accountant in there. And so next year you might see some sort of news app or news related. What would you vote for if you guys could put any news ones this year? Did anybody read Accounting Today or like Journal of Accountancy?
I will say Accounting Today. That one I do check out and read. So if I had to pick a periodical, that would be one that hits top of my list. That, and I will say also, I do often read. I don't know if this is a periodical or not, but I read Katie Thomas's newsletter. That email newsletter that comes out.
Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Leaders Online. Katie Thomas. I wanted her to make it into the bracket. She was close. She didn't make it on. She's another one when you said, are there ones that didn't? She got votes. She didn't make it in here. So thanks for giving her a shout out. And Going Concern last year got nominations. I don't know if they got many this year, but that's another periodical that I think is pretty cool. So which one are we on now? We're on the books bracket. All right. You guys ready for the books bracket?
Let's
Can
go.
you can you
Yeah.
guess who the 2 seed is in the books bracket?
I'm guessing
Looks like
something
cute.
green.
QuickBooks screen.
Wow, that's a lot of books, though. I'm intrigued here because typically we only think about maybe 2 or 3 different books.
Yeah. So the some of them that are extensions or like things to use with these, but they're books related. So let's see. Excel. Yeah, I wouldn't consider that a books, but Excel always gets a lot of love with
It can be
accountants.
used as books. I've
It
seen a
can.
lot of books
It can.
in
That's
Excel.
true. That's true.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I'll do this a different way. I'll go from the 2 seed and then I'll go down from like the 3 seed. So the 3 seed, right tool. Oh, I know Hector's probably watching. Um, shout out to the guys at Right Tool and Uncut. The round one
Okay.
matchup of last year is repeated this year, and this was it. This was Uncat almost lost to Right Tool last year in the first round, first or second round,
right.
whatever it was.
Yep.
They almost lost to him. Uncat wouldn't have even made it past the first round if Right Tool got like 3 more votes. I think it was like by 2 or 3 votes, super close. And then Uncat went on to win the tournament. And now Uncat's a 14 seed. Last year they were a 10 seed. That was like they won the tournament as a 10 seed. This year they made it into the tournament. They definitely got enough votes to make it in, but they're an even lower seed. Like you'd think they would come in with the power rankings. I think that they're saving their votes. They're saving their votes and saving the time to promote, just like Stats did last year. Stats didn't even talk about it last year until like the final four, till he went up against Blake and David. So, Bookkeep
Oh, nice.
and Botkeeper.
Another sponsor.
Another sponsor, Botkeeper, first year into the tournament. Bookkeep, first year into the tournament. Bookkeep, Allison Ball. As she does with her magic wand, she waves it over, and Bookkeep came in strong. They ton of nominations, lots of love for them, and Botkeeper, lots of nominations, lots of love for Botkeeper, one of our sponsors. Shout out to Byron's alumni, Botkeeper. Byron, give him a quick little sponsor shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Botkeeper's been really innovating the product recently. They're releasing what's it? Botkeeper Infinity.
Infinite.
New solution. Infinite.
Infinite,
Always
yeah.
wanna add the Y.
For those of you that
Infinite,
Botkeeper also had a conference that was pretty dope last
yeah.
year.
Oh, Unchained. Yeah, we were in Boston for that.
Yep. I performed their rap last year at their conference. Maybe we'll see a music video for it this year. So stay tuned. Zero coming in as the 7 seed. And another app that I had not heard of that is getting a lot of love is Accruer. FinOptimal is the company and their product is Accruer. And let me tell you, lots and lots of love. Byron, if you could find any nominations for
Yeah,
Accruer.
I just pulled it up, and our boy Dan at Ignite Spot.
He wrote
I
a-
read it, but it's a novel.
He wrote a
It's-
book. Shout out to Dan Luth. He made some of the best nominations, but his it was like, I don't know if he had ChatGPT write it or he just was feeling the love that day and just wrote it out.
He crushed it. He crushed it. But here's a nice quick one. It makes my month-end AJEs way more streamlined. Underrated app of the year in my view.
Underrated app of the year. Wow. So they could be the 10 seed that goes on to win it all again. That's what it came from last year was the books bracket and it was Uncat.
See,
Stay tuned. Nicole, what you got to say
That's a
about this
bold
bracket?
claim.
I've been seeing them all over LinkedIn, but then I would get confused by Accruer versus the Finopoli. So why is there 2 different names?
Hopefully they're in the chat and they can pipe up. Maybe Jesse or somebody from there is in there because honestly, I don't know. I asked them. I said, "So you want me to put this as FinOptimal?" But Accruer is the app. So when I go to their website, FinOptimal is like their suite, and I think they have 2 apps: Accruer and one other one. And so,
Accruer, I got to read one more testimonial.
All right,
This
another
might explain
testimonial.
it all, Nicole. Before using Accruer, my husband left me. After I started using Accruer, my husband came back. Thank you, accruer.
There you go. That should answer your question, Nicole.
Better or worse?
I get it now. Yeah. Save
Who wrote that nomination? Who wrote that one?
I don't know.
I want to check to make sure that they're married still. Yeah, and they got
Check their Facebook status.
yeah. All right. So let's go back to the main bracket, and we have all the applications in. Boom. What happened here? All right. All the applications in, and boom. Here we go. Application side of the brackets. We've got the money bracket, the utility bracket, the practice bracket, and the books bracket, all going to be the champion of the ABC tournament. Who is your pick to win it all? Say that in the chat, and then we'll comment on some of them. Who do you guys think is gonna take on this whole thing? We got one more set. We have the overall. Share this tab here. We have our overall one seed of the tournament, the one with the most votes of anybody, of anything. That is From Zero to Millions podcast with Kelly Roars and Bilal Mihana. I'm going to be a guest on that show pretty soon, too. I am just kidding. They didn't get the one seed. They just barely made it in. That was sort of like the play or the joke. Jason Stats got the one seed.
Wow.
Jason Stats, Jason Daily, Jason everything, Jason all day, every day. He almost won our tournament last year, but Uncat took it all. Jason, congratulations, homie. 45 nominations, 44 nominations for him. They came in all day, every day, and it just kept going. I don't know if he talked about it anywhere. I don't think he did. I think people just vote for him. He'll start talking about it once he goes up against somebody that's worth his time, like last year. And I'm just kidding. Kelly, congratulations to Kelly and Bilal. That is worth his time too. Maybe he should promote because they came in and they got into the bracket. So there is so many podcasts that got nominated this year. Byron, I don't know, like so much content is in here. It was so hard to get in. So I really do want to congratulate Kelly and Bilal. That blew my it. I was really surprised how many nominations they got because it's a brand new show. Tons of love. I'm excited to be a guest on there. I'm going to be on there this Wednesday, so we'll see. Stay tuned. Both of them have been on Accounting High. So speaking of Accounting High, we made it into our own tournament. We got enough nominations too to make it in. Me and Byron were contemplating just saying maybe Accounting High shouldn't make it or shouldn't come in, but we got like 18 nominations. So, I mean, come on. We got to make it into the tournament
I got an answer
too.
That's a lot.
From FinOptimal.
Yeah, what you got? What you got?
The chat's a couple minutes delayed here. So FinOptimal says, FinOptimal started as an accounting firm. We built a ton of apps to do our clients' books before releasing them to the public. Accruer was first, then Booker, and many more coming. Wrangler next.
Oh, so more apps. Oh, okay. It's a suite. Dope. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, so here is who Accounting High is going up against in round one. The Unique CPA podcast. Again, this is another one that was like, Randy's already on the bracket. Maybe somebody else should have a spot in here. Maybe we should make some more room. But he's still got a lot of nominations. And this is the seed he would be in. So you can't just snub it because he's in another. He created a whole new bracket for this tournament. Now he's in here again. Maybe Randy plays himself this year, Terrell. Maybe he does take that one seed, and he takes that one seed all the way through, and then he comes in strong with the Unique CPA podcast. He upsets Jason's stats, and then he goes up against himself. Maybe we can run into that scenario. I got to shout out Dominic from Big Four Transparency. Sorry, Dom. Randy took your spot. You can blame him. He didn't take your spot. You were close. Big Four Transparency podcast gets a shout out on here because he was promoting it and they got nominations. They did well. Brand new baby podcast. I was on there. He's got like 6 episodes out. Super great show. He's doing awesome things, and he's got his website, Big Four Transparency. Check them out. Just wanted to give him a shout out. He didn't make it into the tournament this year, but best of luck to you next year, Holmes. The abundant accountant. Oh man, Michelle Weinstein came in strong. So the 5 seed and the 4 seed are tied. We will see that in a minute. But man, Michelle came in toward the end. She found out about the tournament. She started promoting it, and then she got like few nominations. She got about 4, and then she got about 10 the next day, and then like they kept coming in waves. Lots of nominations. The Abundant Accountant, check her out. She's cool stuff. She's been on Accounting High a few times. She's going up against Logan Graff, the Tax Telegraph. Comes in, makes it into the tournament again, promotes it once on Twitter, and then boom, gets a wave of nominations just to make it into the tournament. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have made it in, but I'm glad Logan's in here. I want to see some cool videos. We're going to have like other stuff. So Logan, you're going to have to do that again this year. Good luck to you going up against Stats. You are in the same bracket division, media region. Let's just say you would have to go up head to head in the Sweet 16. So Logan, you're going to have to beat out Michelle Weinstein and either the Accounting Podcast or the unofficial QBOA Podcast, another newcomer into the tournament. And yes, Alicia, you guys made it onto the tournament on here. Alicia Katz-Pollock and Hector Garcia have a podcast. It's the unofficial QBOA Podcast. Lots of love, lots of votes, lots of nominations came in for that. And they're going up against their fathers. Accounting Podcast, the producers. So beware, if you promote it too hard and you beat them, they may drop you from their network. we don't know. We don't know here, but both coming from the Earmark Network. The Accounting Podcast is going up against the unofficial QBOA Podcast. So there you go, playing yourself in the first round. 2 dope podcasts. You guys should check them out. If you're listening and watching, you've probably heard of them. If you haven't, you should definitely check out all of them. The Accounting Podcast was in the tournament last year as the Cloud Accounting Podcast, but they changed their name just for clarity's sake for anybody that didn't catch that. What's the comments here? This is a big bracket. This is Accounting Highs in here too. Who's going to win this?
So I will say my comment, because I think the lives there's a little lag between the lives and where we're at right now. My comments on this one is I think Randy is going to do amazing, because I think Randy is going to start sending out hoodies to everybody for getting them votes in.
They got the best hoodies. Terrell came over. He came visit me in North Carolina. Well, he's in North Carolina too. And we were out walking in my neighborhood, and Terrell's wearing a unique CPA hoodie. And somebody stopped as we were walking because the guy was a CPA, and he was like, "Oh, CPA." And then so we gave Randy a shout out to his show. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say whenever I wear that hoodie and I'm walking through the airport, people will stop me and like, "Oh, you're a CPA," and I'm like, "I hope you don't ask me a tax question."
That's what comes next. That's what comes next. Dope. All right. Well, it's going to be tough for anyone to beat Jason this year. We know he's the overall 1 seed of the tournament, coming in with the most votes. So good luck to everybody in here. May they Godspeed going up against Jason. I would love to see a Logan Jason matchup. That would be really cool. Lots of cool potential here. But also, let's not forget, last year, our overall number 1 full overall was the Cloud Accounting Podcast. They got over 50 nominations last year out of the only 200 that we got. They got a ton of love, and this year they're a 4 seed. They made it into the tournament for sure, but not as much love. Maybe they're spending more time on the earmark side. We haven't got to the courses yet, so maybe we'll see. But still, Accounting Podcast going up against anybody here. They're contenders. They've been around the longest of anybody here. They're the OGs. maybe the Abundant Accountant. Maybe she's been doing it about as long as them. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they're the OGs. So we'll see. It would be cool to see an upset. Maybe they beat Jason this year. Maybe they come in. Who knows? Who knows? Course bracket. You guys ready? I think this is the last bracket.
Yep, we got
Do
6
it.
minutes.
6 minutes. Course bracket. Boom, boom, boom. Royal Wise, Alicia, you made it on again. 2 times on the bracket. Royal Wise and a count test. Shout out to Giles. A count test. You guys made it. I found a way. Somehow we got them into the course bracket because they're an app, I guess, but not really. Like I feel like it's courses. They're tests. They're tests. So Byron, did they get some get a testimonial on there for a count test?
Oh yeah, let's pull that up.
And one of our friends, Ashley Francis, made it into the bracket. She didn't vote for herself, but she definitely got enough nominations. A course, kitchen table automations, AI course. Shout out to Ashley. And another one of our friends, Tax Rep Network, Eric Green, made it in to all first years. This whole course bracket, I think, is filled with first years. Workflow Queen, ton of love for Alyssa Lang, the Workflow Queen. I love her picture. She's like blowing some bubble gum on there, twirling her hair. And the Ambitious Bookkeeper. Actually, Serena did make it in last year, but it was Nicole that brought to my attention that Serena has courses too. So Serena, while she probably would have made it into the podcast bracket, she's in courses because Nicole gave her a shout out. She said she got some good courses. What was it? A course called Elevate?
I don't remember.
Okay. I think it was Elevate. And then we have Earmark and Nerd Enterprises. Shout out to Seth David, first entry into the tournament. Earmark, let's just say, Earmark clearly leading the way in nominations again. So it's very, very possible that if Earmark makes it out of this bracket and they pull off the upset against Jason Stats, that Blake could be playing himself. Blake and David play against each other in this tournament in the end. Any other comments? Anything new in here? Anything you guys see?
I mean, for anybody that's done the, Ashley's stuff, kitchen table automations is awesome. We talked about ChatGPT really crushing it this year. I think that's going to be, potentially a contender if, the folks who have taken her courses show up.
Yeah. Well, I want to say too, this became a bracket because Nicole's developing a course as well. So maybe Nicole's course will be on here next year. We'll see. So stay tuned. I don't want to give too much away yet.
Like that. What's the course going to be?
Well,
Yeah, now I actually got to do it.
I called her out. We'll talk. We'll definitely talk about it more. But I wanted to kind of like maybe she want to talk about it. Maybe she doesn't. We've both been working on this for a while. I mean, this is part of the 4-year plan here at Accounting High is to be giving courses. We're a high school, so as it is, Nicole is also a very good teacher. Anybody who's listened to the Cash Flow show, which didn't make it into the bracket, but I'm still talking about it because it's a great show. It's getting a lot of love and a lot of traction. A new baby show. It did get some nominations, but we didn't make it in. So check that out. That was just my little plug. Sorry, I took us off the wrong path. But any other comments on the course bracket? I just to say that courses are important in our profession, and Royal Wise crushed it with nominations. So clearly I needed to get Royal Wise on the bracket here. And so we decided to turn this into courses. Shout out to CPA Academy. They didn't make it this year. Got a couple nominations, but they would probably be in this if it was this bracket. Are there any others, Byron, that we felt like didn't make it, but probably should get a shout out?
None that come to mind. I mean, there was definitely a lot of good course content. The thing was, there was also some of the course content that ended up in other brackets because some of the communities and things include course content. But yeah, there's a lot of good educational resources coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of C's on this side of the bracket. So we've got the courses, the communities, the conferences. We were thinking about potentially making coaches another bracket just for all the coaches. Shout out to Geraldine Carter. Shout out to Jackie Meyer and a lot of people that got nominations that didn't make it onto this bracket. This is also, let's see, this is also Women's Month, right? Is this March? March is Women's.
This is, yeah.
So we were thinking about doing.
It is.
Yes, we were thinking about doing a bracket of all the women that got nominations. Nicole Davis, Laurelyn Wilson, Nicole McKenzie got nominations. We were putting together a full bracket of everybody that got nominations, didn't get into the tournament, all the women. Stay tuned. We might do a bonus bracket for that. We'll see. We didn't want to make it problematic here. Nicole, what do you think if we did that for all, to give a shout out to all the women that made it? If we did a bonus
I think that'd
bracket.
be great. I also was noticing just the number of women that were on all the brackets.
Just represented
as it is. I
overall.
think it's awesome.
pretty strong.
Yeah. There's a lot of women representation. So that was the one thing. We weren't going to make a women bracket and put it in here because that would be problematic, I would think, because you got women everywhere. So they don't have to have, it's like men's don't need their own bracket either. We don't want to separate men and women like they do in actual college basketball. We want everybody playing together on the same field too. So, yeah.
I think it could be interesting to get something like, what are all the kids that are graduating college into right now, or just getting them involved more would be.
Oh, that would be great. So the college, the stuff that they get in front of. So let's tune into that next year and see if I can tap into that area. So this is our education side of the bracket. It's all filled in. Lots and lots of great competition here. Shout out to everybody who didn't make it this year. You got to get your nominations in because that's how you get it. And there's power rankings too. So we look at nominations over the years. We look at everything, so if you got nominations this year, didn't quite make it in, and you get some nominations next year, that's going to be also heavily considered. So thank you to everybody participating. Thank you for watching. I know we made it over the hour time here. Any quick takeaways or not takeaways, but like quick goodbyes, maybe, let's say. I don't want to drag this on too long.
I'm just excited to get in there. I've opened voting. Voting is happening. People are
Voting is
already.
live. That's your call to action. Everybody that's still here, go in and vote. abc.accountinghigh.com. Go in there and vote. You will win an Apple Vision Pro. We didn't even mention the Apple Vision Pro, this whole thing. So raffle tickets are still being given out. I'll talk about that in the next live show and everything. Terrell, thank you for joining us. I know Nicole had to run. She probably had a meeting. Thank you, everybody. Terrell, you want to give us a quick send off?
Yeah, I would say, hey, everybody, I mean, it's going to be exciting just to see who wins and who makes it out of the different rounds, and everybody just go out there and vote, show some love to the apps, the people, the communities, all the conferences that you love. Just show them some love, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out in the next round.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today in this live stream. I'm going to try to end it if I know how. Peace out, homies. Class dismissed.